Okay, welcome back to the second part of this tutorial. So before I go any further, what I want to do is to go straight to the project here, and I want to add the driver to my system here. So I'm going to just come straight to the library right here. So I believe you guys will know how to download that. So what we need now is the Java driver. So right click on it and let's select add Java. Okay, just click on that. There we go. I officially have my Java files there. That is it. You can always download that. Just call MySQL connector Java. You need that. Okay, I'm going to maybe just select the two. Okay, all right, just click on OK, open. There we go. Then they should officially be inside here now. Let's come right down here. Yeah, there we go. Now, first of all, I need to import the following. Let's import the following libraries: the connectors, the preparation statement, reset and so result, table, and so on. So those are the libraries that I'm going to need. The ones I don't need, I will get rid of it for now. Let's just continue. Now underneath here, you see right underneath my class here, I'm going to enter the following. Let's say private. Let's say static, and we'll say final. That would be username. Let me call the username first, and the username in this case for my database is just called root. There. Now I'm going to call the others. Oh, this should be private. Okay, let's copy this and just change the rest around. Alright, this one is going to be password. Okay, for my password, CK1. That's my password, and in here that is going to be my database. Let's just call it data connector. Okay, and in here I'm now going to enter JDBC and enter column MySQL column // local host, and this local host is on 3306. I think it's almost the same for almost everyone anyway. And my database name is called student data. I believe I'm right. That's the name of the database. Let's check one more time. Yeah, that's it. Student data. Yeah, let's copy that and compare. That is it, student data. Okay, so that's the name of my database, and just get rid of this. Yeah, so my database is in place. I've just connected to my database. Now underneath here, okay, the next thing is I'm going to create a session between the Java application and the database itself, and I'll call it connection. So let's say connection, and I will just call it SQL con equals nothing. There. I am also going to create a connection interface, and that's going to be prepared statement. So let's come come down here and just enter prepare statement, and I'll just give it PST. That is going to be nothing as well. Then another prepared statement would be the result, and I'm just going to call that RS equals nothing. There we go. Let's enter a column there. This should be prepared, right? Okay, so I have my connectors in place. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to come in here. You see where my add button is right there. So let's right click on it and select event action and action perform. Right in the procedure area of that very button, let's delete this comment first. I'm going to use try, and let's say cache in there, and in there the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say class dot for name. There we go. Double click on that, and this name that I want to refer to will be communicate with MySQL dot JDBC dot enter the driver. There we go. And let's come out here and just enter semicolon. Now the next thing I want to do is, if you guys can still recall the object I created up there for the connection that interface with my database, that is SQL con. Yeah, that's what I called it. Let's highlight all of this so that we know where we are. Yeah, that is it right there. So we'll scroll right down. SQL con and equals driver. That will be driver manager. And this driver manager dot get connection, or dot get connection, and that is going to be where my database, the icon that takes in my database is called data connect. That's right, that is it right here, there. I'll come right down, and I also need a username and password. There's a comma, username, so and password. Come out here and just press enter, semicolon. Alright, let's take care of this cache. There should be a cache here. I can just copy those here. Let's come right down here somewhere. Here, right here. Just drop this down. I should be able to see my cache statement instead of reinventing the whole wheel. So up to, I'm going to need two statements there. Grab these two, copy, and let's come right down here. If you have to do the same thing, make sure you don't mess up your own system. So I'm going to come right down here, just enter that. There. Okay, that's my cache statement, but this one I'm going to change that to SQL. That should become SQL. So get rid of this and change that to SQL, and that takes care of my cache statement, and that error that you guys were looking at is all gone. Alright, so the next thing we want to do now is I'm going to use the PST to prepare my interface. So PST, that is going to be equals to SQL con dot prepared statements and right in there I'm going to enter the following SQL statements. So let's get rid of this. My statement is going to be, let's say, insert, because I just want to enter data anyway. Insert into, it's called students data, that's the name of my database. Insert into student data the following. So it's going to be, I'm not going to be calling the ID, I won't do that, so I'm just going to start with the name. Insert name, because the ID we actually automatically increments itself. So surname, I have address, this should be comma in here, and I have gender, comma, then we have mobile, and what else do we have? We have, okay, there should be student ID right up here, so student ID, right. So I'm going to kind of press enter, and after mobile, then I have math, games, data science, analysis, comma, we have graphics, database, what else do I have? I have science, and I have English. There we go. In total that should be 14, and this should be known as games. Okay, so here the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to say represent this by values, and let's press enter again, and the values that I'm going to enter in there, I'm going to use question mark. That's 1. In total I'm going to enter 14 of those. Copy that. That should do it. That's 14. Okay, close that up here. Close the bracket up and get rid of this. Then we enter a semicolon here. Yeah, that should do it. Then the next thing is I'm going to now specify the string value. So the very first one is that in there. Dot, let's say set string, and the very first string that I'm going to set is going to be, let's call that number 1, and that is going to be txt first name. No, that's not number 1, that's number 2 actually. That's number 2. Let's say dot get text. Alright, this one is not number 1, it is number 2. Yeah, number 1 is the student ID. Copy, paste. Right. Alright, the very first one is txt student ID. So that's number 1. And the second one is going to be first name. I think that's uppercase. Right. Then we have surname. Change this one to surname. We have address. Yeah. Okay, that's 3, 4. Then we have let's speed this up. Let's address this gender. Then I have mobile. Is that not called gender? Let's say mobile. Right, let's see what that one is called. Oh, it's CBO. Okay, let's go back in there. CBO. There. Alright, we have an error here. In the first place, we need to convert it to string character because it's going to recognize it as an integer. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's say dot get the selected item. Yeah, there, that is the correct. Okay, that's the correct function for it, but the problem is this is recognized as an integer value, so I need to then convert it to a string value. There we go. And the next one as well, I think this is 7. Let's change it as 8. I think the mobile is fine. This one is going to be, that's a CBO as well. CBO, that will be, I think that is math. There, but there's going to be an error as well, so let's just copy, change, and let's grab this. In fact, the rest are combo box, so I might as well just copy and just change the names around. Right, so let's change the names around. The rest are all subjects. 7 is math, then this is 8. We have 11 here, 12, 13, and 14. So let's change the subject names. So this one is going to be games, and this is in data science, I called it. Right, data science. We have analysis, this system analysis. Let's see, yeah, that's correct. And what else do I have after system analysis? I have graphics. I can't remember if there's an S there. Okay, that's fine. Database, then we have science, then finally we have English there. There we go. Oh, that's incorrect. Yeah, let's see English. What did I have in there? Oh, there's an H missing, so let's enter the H. Copy and save that. Go back in there. Yeah, that's rectified. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a message to confirm that I've updated or that the system is updated. So let's grab this. I think maybe show message. Yeah, grab this. And come right down here. But before then, we have to get it executed first. PST dot execute update. There we go. Enter that, and let's just display a message like I said earlier on. Get rid of that. So that should be show message. Okay, we can change that to show message box. So show message dialog, and the dialog, let's just say this record added, or student record added, student So all I just need to do now is let's try it out just to check that we are able to enter some data in there. So this is my database. There's nothing in there for now. So let me refresh it so that you guys see the whole lot. Go to the table there. That's my table. Double click on that and you should be able to see that there's nothing in there. It's coming up. There we go. There's nothing in there. But there's going to be an error because I noticed like database, that is supposed to be a reserved word, I believe. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to come back in here and just change the name of that unit to database 1, else there will be an error. I have that feeling. So I'm just going to call it database 1. Yeah, put a 1 in there. Save that. And I will also do the same thing for the connector. And there, let's say finish. Let's come in here. And here, I'm going to just add 1 there. And oh, look at that. There's a bracket missing there, so you need to close that up and close this up. Okay, let's save it and give it a try and see. I'm going to now compile and we just run it. Well, let's click on run. Let's take it from there. There we go. So I'm going to enter student ID in there, and here just going to say the name is Sally Southend, and in here it's going to be number 27 Hilltown Road, London, and here that's going to be female, telephone number. Alright, so let's say math completed, games, that's a core unit, complete, yeah, no, let's say there, and let's complete this as well. Only 1 left, so all we then need to do is click on add. Oh, there we go, successful there. So now let's check our database. Come right here. That's our database in there, so all I need to then do is kind of like refresh it. Just click on the database. That is it. Those are Sally's details. So the database is working. That's fine. Now let's go back. Okay, now what we need to do is I want to make sure every single one of this data appears on this very table. So I'm going to exit out. And okay, I'm going to create a function, but let me just copy some of these. Might have to use them. So now let's grab it all. Then I'll go right up there and just create a function there. Copy, and let's go right up here. Okay, let's see, right here, that's fine. And I'm going to just enter a broken line with a comment. I'll just call that function declaration. Right, and let's enter another broken line here. I just want to know where my functions will be. Now let's give this function a name. I'm going to call it, let's say public, and we'll say public void. I'm going to call it update DB. Enter parentheses, come right down here, and the copied lines of code, I'm going to paste that in there and delete as follows. Let's come right here and I'm going to delete from here. I don't need all of this. Let's get rid of all of this, everything here. Come right down here. Yeah, get rid of that, and I will also get rid of this. No, just from here down here. Right. And what else do I not need? I want to get rid of all of this, and maybe I'm going to change this, the SQL statement. I'm going to change that to, let's say, select all from student database, and close that. Okay, so that is that. So let's just close this try there, and that should do that. Let's come right down and see. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so all right, now I'm going to just continue. So right underneath here, I've already entered my SQL statement, so have a good look at that. I may have to change this, I don't know yet. Okay, so let's use as follows. So I'm going to call my results sets. I'm going to say my result set equals pst dot execute the query. Yeah, and enter parentheses there. Okay, and semicolon. Now I'm going to say result set the metadata, and this my metadata. I'm just going to call it st data, and st data equals, let's say, is equals rs dot, which is the result set, get metadata. There we go. There. Now that is in place, we also need to do something. Let me declare a variable right here. I can just call that int q. So I'm now going to make use of q. So let's say q equals student data is variable, and that's going to be dot get count, column count there. And we also need our, I'm going to need the table, so let's get the, that's going to be the object for the table. Okay, default table, and that very table mode, what shall we call it? We're going to call it record. Yeah, okay, record table. So for the record table, I'm going to say equals, open a bracket, and that's going to be the default table mode. Instead of typing out of that, paste it in the bracket, copy and paste. Then, and my table has no name, it's just j table 1 dot get mode. There we go. So record table, that's the name of, that's the object I created for the table. Now we now want record table to sets. Let's copy that, record table dot set row count. There we go. And the row count is 0. Yeah, so we're getting somewhere. That's good, no error. Now what we want to do is we now need to use a while loop. So let's say while result set dot next, open and close parenthesis, and enter a curly braces, press enter. I'm now going to just say, let's say vector. I'm going to have to import something. Vector column data. So that's another object equals new vector. There. Now we use a for loop. So let's go for I, let's declare another one here. I'm just going to put comma I here. Come right down here. For I equals 1, comma I less than and equals to Q I plus plus. Alright, so once we've done that, let's open another curly braces, and inside this curly braces I will now call my column data. Paste that in here. This column data dot add result set dot get strings, and the strings, the very first one is going to be my ID. That's the very first one. Enter that. The second one is going to be student ID. I'm gonna copy that. Come right down here. Paste. We have student ID, and here that will be first name. We have surname. We have surname here. Then we have address. I may have to speed this up because I'm actually calling every single column on my table. Speed that up. So before we speed that up, look, this is supposed to be column. Let's correct the spelling, and I'll just speed it up. Okay, let's speed that up. Okay, so I've actually speed that up. So what I need now is I'm gonna get the record table, which is the name for my table. So in here I'm going to then enter record table dot add, that will be add rows, and the rows that I'm adding is going to be this column data. Paste, and there. Now the next thing that I need to do is to actually initialize this function that I've just created. Let's make sure there's no error. So let's copy this function. We need to get it initialized. Come up here, right underneath here, paste, enter semicolon. Okay, we need to try this out, but before that, look, I've made a mistake again. You see here, that is a reserved word, so I mistakenly call one of the unit database. Okay, I'm just going to add 1 to it so that there won't be any error. Look at this, I was meant to close my for loop. Let's come in here and get that closed here and delete this, else will just be looping all over. Okay, so that is, yeah, the error is gone now. Okay, let's run it. Maybe I should change this. I don't know. Let's look for my exit. Just copy that of exit. Right, I can just, yeah, maybe use this. Yeah. Okay, that's just a message box, so I'm gonna come in there. I've already get it initialized, so I just want to tidy up things before we start running this. So we'll paste that in there, and I'm gonna make that message, and inside the message there's going to be, let's say, nothing ex there. Okay, that is taken care of as well. Make sure if you're following my my process or my procedure, make sure this database, you have one in there, or you change the name of the database entirely, because it seems it is a reserved word. So I'm going to now run it. So if it's working fine, I should be able to see the database on my system. And make sure the function is also called here, right here inside the initialize. Make sure you call it. That's my function called. So I'm going to run it now. Save first and run. And there we go, guys. That is it right there. Okay, that's our first data. Okay, let's see. Let's add another one. Then we stop it and we run it. So the name for this guy, let's enter 14 Johnny, and address, let's say Little Venice, and that will be Road, London, and as female as well. Mobile number, call, yes, and complete, and that's a call. Alright, that's 14 Journey. Click on that. Right, if I had entered this in there, I should have been able to see it here. Okay, let's end that, and I'm going to copy this. You see that? I'm going to copy it just to let you know that 14 Johnny is right on the database. I will show it to you guys. Let's go to the database and kind of like refresh. There we go. Open it up. There we go. That's 14 Johnny on the database. Okay, so the database is working. Now I'm going to come in here. You see this? Right click, event action perform. So when I click on it, it should also display 14 Johnny. I think I can paste that in here. There. So whatever update made should be displayed on my system. So run that again and let's see. Okay, let's enter new details in there. Okay, that's a new student, and this student is, let's go for Tony Montana, an address, and he lives in, it's a big town, Road. Let's go for Kingsland, and his mail, mobile number, yes. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's click on Addnew. Yes, there we go. Look at that. That's fine. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of the second part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly. Bye for now.